The purple revolution will not work. It's not a real thing. And the reason why I'm saying that is twofold. The first part is the purple revolution was supposed to be in November of last year because there was enough information at that point that, people could have come together. I know we're not seeing the true results. I know there's a lot more blue that got thrown out or whatever, right? But people should have known who he was. And, I keep seeing these influencers on here that are talking about the purple revolution. And they're saying things like, when you leave a cult, you need understanding, or they could unalive. This isn't a typical cult. This isn't like some of these really religious ones that are like where people are sequestered off, on a farm somewhere or a homestead. They don't get to really watch TV. They don't really get any news. They're not around the rest of their family that disagrees with the cult or that is thinking clearly. This is very different. So anybody that talks to you, cough, cough, badger, not really that friendly, cough, cough. If anyone talks to you about their experience in a cult and they compare it to what's happening right now, only take some of it as helpful information. Because like I just said, it's a very, very different cult situation that's going on. And a lot of it is not attributed to a cult. It's attributed to hatred. Okay? Some people actually really have apathy for others. And a lot of them are, we know who. And they really don't care. They really don't. They laugh when people are crying, when their children are being ripped out of their arms, when they're, being thrown on the ground while they're just in line to pick up their child at school and being handcuffed. They love it. They love it. We need to wake up to that type of hatred, whatever the reason is. You can say it's a cult. You can say they're caught up. I think that's like all like little band-aids on pew-pew wounds. I don't think that's actually addressing the real situation. I think there's been decades of brainwashing and just stripping people of their humanity. But that's for another video. I just want to say there's a bunch of different things. Okay, so one is it should have been in November. Two is it's not really your typical cult because they had all the information. They have family and friends that are around them that are trying to tell them or show them that they're hurt. They're laughing. They don't care. They're seeing they're seeing what's happening from their choices and they're okay with it. I mean, they even said if in the Epstein situation, if he's in it, they're fine with it. And and you can't just say that's a cult situation. There's something else going on there. But all right, so set that all aside. The number one reason why, because you can't wait, let me go back to this, open this back up again. You can't come together with someone that doesn't care if you live or die. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And guess who's pressuring people to come together in that situation? It's the one that doesn't care if you live or die. They're pressuring you to be quiet. How is that different than just pressuring you to not say anything in general and just go along with what they're doing? It's the same exact thing, but they're trying to call it something different that seems, like lavender, purple, like all of it's BS, you guys. Don't even fall for it. I wasn't even gonna make a video. I haven't made a video in weeks. And I'm in like a cocoon situation. I feel like I'm being prepared for this big, huge change that's coming that we're in the midst of right now, but it's going to be even more crazy over the next probably 12 months. And I feel like I'm being prepared for that right now. And so I'm being and I'll get into that in another video, but I wasn't even going to make a video, but I was like, I have got to say something about this purple revolution. Okay. The number one reason why it's not going to work, okay, and why it can't work is because the revolution isn't about us coming together with anyone. The revolution is inside of us. It's about individuals. It's about you realizing your connection to community, your connection to the environment, your connection to, the good of all of us, how we're all connected. Pluto and Aquarius, baby. It's a whole new, there's a new sheriff in town. Pluto and Capricorn was all about this other kind of golden toilets and up versus down and all that stuff. But what's happening now is side to side, not up and down. It's side to side. And you naturally come together just because you are together. We don't have to even do anything. There's nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Other than do your own inner work. That's it. And, you know, people are saying he needs time. That one guy who started the Purple Revolution, I saw some people say he needs time to come decompress. Well, then don't be online then. Don't be online trying to merge with others if you haven't done the work in yourself. And even then, why do you need to merge with others? I mean, the whole thing, I'm sorry this is kind of jumbly, but the whole thing is ridiculous. And I'm so glad so many people see it. I feel like I had duct tape on my mouth for the first few days I was seeing it. I was like, oh my God, I have to make a video. I have to make a video about this. Crazy. But anyways, I see most of you guys are picking up on that now, but, yeah, no. And this is about an inner revolution in all of us. It's about recognizing that the good of all, okay? It's not about those that have a lot and everybody else just struggles. There's a revolution happening already. You don't have to call it anything. You don't have to force people to join hands and be in it together. We're all in it together because we're all fellow human beings. And if you want to be a nasty person and have like darkness in your heart towards others, that's fine. You're going to reap what you sow from that. So that's just, that's why negativity comes back onto people like that. But anybody that tries to pressure you into being a certain way, that's a red flag, okay? Nobody should be pressuring you into like come over here and hug me. It's like anyone that does that, it's kind of weird, right? Joining together happens naturally. Besides, we don't need to do that anyways. I keep saying that, but we don't need to join together, you guys. There's nothing to join together. When we join together? In November. Okay? That's it. That's it. And now we need to do work on ourselves and work on a common goal as long as you want to. Like we are fighting these things. But we don't need to come together. I don't even understand what that means. Come together for what? And we're already in a civil W. It's an information one. It's reality. We're already in it. It's the internet. It's our phones. It's believing what we see or not believing it. Like we're already in it. Everyone's like, well, it's this, civil W is coming. It's already here. It's been here. We're in it right now. And the way you win is you form community. You work on yourself. Work on the things that are coming up inside of yourself. And, be good in yourself. I don't know. I can get into that again. I'm very rusty on videos and talking because I haven't really done much talking in the past few weeks. But I did just want to come out and just say hi. And also thank you for all your kind comments. Thank you for all your support and everything else. And I'll be back to making videos. Maybe now. I don't know. Maybe this cracked this seal. I have no idea. But I do know that the Purple Revolution is internal. And it's not purple. It's a rainbow. It's a rainbow revolution. It's all your chakras. It's healing yourself, healing your past, healing whatever needs healing. And my final thing I want to say, which sort of ties from that, since November, there's been a lot of people like in the community that I'm in, which is 4am Club or spiritual political people and all that kind of stuff that, we have to wait until, his people, MAGA, they come around. We have to wait until enough of them wake up. I've never really been on board with that. I don't feel like the wake up is on their side. I feel like the wake up has been an individual thing, so not really on a side, but also more so on the blue side, the blueberries as I call it. Just liberals in general. I think we don't know how to fight for ourselves, stand in the ground that we're standing in and fight for that. It's not about reaching out and going into other people's spaces and fighting them. It's about staying in your space and knowing your truth and knowing your strength and fighting with being able to stay in that space. And that's why when I saw the Purple Revolution, it's like everything in me got so mad because I'm like, here we go again. The blueberries always we want to get along with everybody. We don't like conflict. So the minute somebody offers us something, it's just like an abusive relationship. As soon as someone offers well, how about if we're like, okay, because we have no tolerance for the uncomfortableness and they know that. And that's why we're in an abusive relationship. And that's why it falls apart. That's why we fall apart. That's why we stay in these cycles of dysfunctional relationships because we don't know how to stand up for ourselves and say, no, I don't want to bond with someone that doesn't care about me. I don't want to bond with someone who doesn't care about their fellow man. I just don't. What I saw specifically was a knitting cult lady who I like, but she gave an example of the man that raped her mother. He said on news, he got called out on the news, or he admitted it, but he was on the news. He admitted it, and he said he blamed it on the cult. And I guess he thought that everyone was going to be like, oh my God, we understand. Well, that's not what happened naturally, because it was a 10-year-old. And even though he was saying, yeah, but he was trying to say it as an example of how much your mind can be screwed, but people just thought, how dare you, like, what are you doing? So everybody, there was such a backlash on him, and then the girl ended up being knitting cult lady's mother. So it was a very powerful story that she told. But the difference is, so he had ended up unaliving himself, but the difference is you're dealing with something very different than what we're dealing with. And that's why when they're like, you have to be very gentle. No, we don't. No, we effing don't. We do not have to be gentle. We don't have to do anything. And I mean it, nothing. If you, and I've said this all along, if you feel called to do anything, then you go ahead and do it. But don't you dare pressure anyone else to do the same. Everyone needs to listen to their own intuition. And you're part of your incarnation, part of your life journey might be like you are a bridge builder. You are a person to like give that love and understanding, and you have that to give, then you go ahead and do that. You don't need to announce it to everybody that you're going to do that. You just go ahead and do that. But don't tell us, those who don't want to do that and who can't do that because it goes against everything inside of us, that we should, or we're going to be responsible for someone unaliving themselves. I mean, what? No. There has been a blueberry revolution, okay? We have finally found our voices. Finally, we have figured out that we can stand up for ourselves. We can say, because we're not like conflicty people, we avoid it. But now we have to realize life is sometimes conflict and you have to face it. You can't hide away from it, trying to be all love and light. You know, you got to step into some other energies sometimes. And part of that is just defending your own peace, defending your answers of like, you know, no is a complete sentence. Like, and it doesn't make us a bad person. It just means we're taking care of ourselves. Setting boundaries with people. It's healthy. It's needed. And if you need to set that boundary with yourself, I support you. I'm saying that boundary with myself. I think most people do not need to do anything. If I don't even know who has this thing in them that wants to help them, but I don't know, whatever. Maybe you were sent by God. I have no idea. But I do know that the ones that I've seen are very vicious and they're not okay. They haven't come down. Like, unless you're like a trained psychologist or a sociologist or something, I don't know. I don't know what you're going to really, you know, just be careful, because the thing is, they have a lot of like toxic stuff going on, and it's deep, and, you know, it can hurt a lot of people, and it already has, and it does. So just be careful if you decide to be that person. And please, for the love of God, don't pressure anyone else to be part of that, because that's really, no, that's like a personal thing. No. All right, hopefully I'll see you in another video sometime soon.